So, welcome everybody to this inquiry on the Metacrisis on the pañcakośā, as I'm calling it.
I'll start. I'm Venkatesan.
Devin from Auroville.
Hi everyone, I'm Shanmuga from Chennai.
I'm Rukmini, I'm joining in from Mumbai.
I'm Senthil and I'm a PhD scholar and I live in Kollam.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Vidit. I'm a doctor and I'm studying public health.
I am Ayushi. I'm joining in from Panipat.
My name is Padmapriya. I live and work in Canberra in Australia. I work as a policy professional in the climate change space.
I'm Uma. I'm from Bangalore, joining from Bangalore.
Hi everybody. I am an academician living in Bangalore.
Name you know Kapil. I live in Mumbai.
Namaskar. So this is Kaushalendra from Bangalore.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kaushalendra. Thank you, everybody. Wow. Very grateful, humbled, honored for all of you from various parts of the world. It'll be nice to hear from everybody. What brings you here?
Spiritual seeker myself. So I was keen and very curious to know about the Metacrisis.
Evolutionary journey from a spiritual perspective and how Metacrisis, which in Sri Aurobindo's word, he calls it as an evolutionary crisis. So I think, exploring this together.
Guess I'm here trying to make sense of the world and how to live in it. And of course, also very curious about the connection to the pañcakośā, that intersection.
I see this metacrisis happening around me, and I think seeing a perspective, putting these two together, that is what I'm interested in.
A lot of things happening around me, and from environment perspective and ecology perspective and so on and so forth, but I never really spent time to understand this a bit more. So I'm here to just maybe get this clarity and understanding so that I can tune what is that I can do to help things.
And since the last 1 year, there has been a lot of reading in our circle regarding climate health and lots of talks and conferences and other things. It's just kind of irritating because things don't add up many a times. So when I read Naveen's brief description, I did not understand what pañcakośā is, but I thought that okay, let's try this also. I mean, if it leads to somewhere,
That it will lead to be more conscious and to be more be with me, with my own self, to understand myself. So that's my intention of joining. Thank you.
So I'm looking forward to learning about, as many of you said, the connection between the Metacrisis and the pañcakośā.
Learning from all of you how each one of us are dealing with the Metacrisis, and of course, Naveen.
Naveen is the one that brings me here.
Who's worrying on it?
And I'd just like to just dig a little further and see how to bring these two worlds together.
I'm here for my Metacrisis.
Very happy to have you all here, and thank you for making it so early on a Sunday. And I was just joking before some of you joined that it's heartening to know so many of us have woken up so early to talk about bad news. But that's only a limited way of seeing it. The Metacrisis is both an existential challenge and also, as I see it, an evolutionary possibility. Yeah, so it can also be good news in one sense. Yeah, so we'll unpack that in a bit. So in a sense, a lot of how this word metacrisis is being used is used in this context of it's going to be a convergence of multiple challenges. So it's not one crisis anymore. It's a crisis of crises. Yeah, it's a metacrisis and it's a threat. Why do we think studying about this is important? Why is it's called metacrisis literacy in a sense? What could be nice to hear from some of us. Why is metacrisis literacy important? How is it going to serve us?
I see that the response to each crisis is piecemeal, right? There is no systemic response addressing the root of the problem, which is actually the same for everything. So I think understanding this and knowing it oneself and then spreading it around is really important.
So more you familiarize, you understand that I can do a little bit about one part of it, and that's how things will add up. So just being familiar with the I'm not getting the right word, but just being familiar with the demon and figuring out how it's not really a demon, something you can do something.
As much as, multiple crises that have emerged, it's the same thing that life is trying to tell us, but we're not listening. And so what you're calling literacy around it feels like a call to just listen through some system that hits us the most, perhaps. It's almost like a generosity of life to speak to us in so many ways.
So it is this cycle, this gol jo ja raha hai. So really look at it is important to really look at that despair, hopelessness, and fear that, how is that propelling more and more and more and more of the worsening?
Is if there needs to be a response to the metacrisis, it perhaps needs to start with us. Unless I understand it deep enough, how am I going to be the change? Pañcakośā is a postulate in a sense, or it's science. It's a theory that says reality has 5 levels to it. It's not just the human body, but all reality or the earth itself. If I have to look at the earth itself as one being, just like we look at ourselves as one being, then there are 5 layers to reality. And I think in some of the Upanishads, he mentioned the Taittiriya Upanishad. I think in the Gita also it said, if I'm not wrong. And many Indian health systems use this understanding of the body, that there is not just one layer to the body, which is the gross manifestation, but there are subtler elements to it. So I'll just name the 5 as I know it, and if I make any mistake, please do correct me. Is that okay? Others?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. The questions that I'm inviting us to look at is, what are my next steps from here?
Be more conscious of things or things happening around, and be more at individual level. How can a practice, how can our small efforts I can do to be in tune with, or to facilitate these sheets? How can they bloom?
Like when you get initiated to something, you feel good about knowing something. This is my initiation, but it also comes with impatience of wanting to know a lot more. That's where I am, and that's where my next step is also.
And as an academician, I think my way forward is to create opportunities for my students to experience more of themselves, experience more of others, and maybe wherever possible, experience the ideas of the economic systems and infrastructure that we have, and alter maybe different forms, the experiencing nature, maybe experiencing different organization forms, institutions. So I'm looking at the way forward of creating opportunities for experience.
These pañcakośā and these discussions kind of helped me internalize the understanding, because in the world we are identifying the crisis as well, but we always try to find the external framework for these. So in these discussions, I could realize that this is much more personal than I was thinking, and I would like to curiously explore more that what all parts are affected, and how to identify them better, and also like how to demystify this to others as well, and how do I explain this to others. So this is what I want to explore.
I'm trying to see how do I use these sessions and conversations to see what change at 75 I have to make to myself.
The next steps for me are to be more aware of how to access these layers deeply. And what it leaves me with is a very grateful feeling to be in touch with people who are looking at problems from such a fundamental point of view, because there only lies the solution. So grateful to be a part of this gathering where people are openly discussing about such issues.
I'm very grateful and thankful that I could be a part of this, discussion and explorations.
And I think it's not just this particular offering, the multiple Aram offerings that we have had has just helped me bring attention to all of that, because I think most times I was coping with it by not paying attention and therefore numbing it down.
And so I'm very inspired and humbled by your spirit of inquiry and wanting to be here. So I think words will fall short for me in offering my gratitude. I've definitely taken a lot of inspiration and energy from this space over the last 5 weeks. Again, I'd like to close with gratitude. So thank you, everybody, and maybe continue the dialogue and also the inspiration and learn to walk together.